us. Okay. Oh, there I can see us. Yay. Okay. So here we are live on day 141 of 365 days of How Do I Love Myself Today. This is my chiropractor, Dr. Chris McLean, and he's also a health coach. And I talked about how we were going to talk about how chiropractic and diet and exercise and all those things can impact your health. However, since the last weekend was definitely a thunderstorm of emotional craziness, which is why I'm actually in here today instead of waiting until later in the week. I try to get tune-ups once a week sometimes, once every couple of weeks. And it actually really helps keep me on my game, and I've been recovering from some old injuries that it's really helped a lot. But Dr. Chris,
hi.
The big thing that I decided that we should talk about is actually how our emotions affect our spinal health, because I wouldn't be in here had I not had just an overflying mess of emotional trauma. It's like I do relationships. I'm the relationship optimizer. So, of course, all of my shadow around relationships had to come up this weekend. Everything fell apart, including my back. So if you could share your wisdom around emotional health and the spine, that would be amazing.
Well, sure. I mean, obviously there's so many different factors that contribute to our spinal health. And like you said, our emotions, how we exercise, how we think, what we eat, the people that we hang around with, what energy they bring. And as you know, as a healer, when you work on a lot of other people, you may end up feeling certain ways that you didn't feel before you were working on those people.
And it can happen even if you're working remotely, because I work with people over the phone or through Facebook Messenger, through video, as well as just chat. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. See us here.
And in fact, one of the people that I worked with is Dr. Garrett, and he's an amazing practitioner because he does a neuro-emotional technique where he can actually narrow down to the emotional component that's affecting you in your back. And it's really amazing to see somebody go from a position of weakness to a position of strength because you were able to identify that precise emotional component that could have been contributing to the dysfunction.
Yes, and you deal with more than just the spine, because I know that emotions affect your spinal health, but the whole body. So
and when your body gets into pain, then you can become very uncomfortable, and it can make you emotional, and it can make you guard how you operate with your body, and it can certainly make you protect yourself in different ways than you normally would.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so obviously one of the things that we always talk about is that there's more than one way to getting yourself to optimal health. And so it's a combination of nutrition, it's a combination of your exercise. And like Gwen said, one of the important things is that having somebody to work with like myself to keep things functional,
optimal
as
part of your which is part of your business name,
getting
actually.
Things optimal is really important, and we don't want people to have this pain mentality where I'm only going to take my car to the mechanic when it's making a squeak, or when it's makes a bad sound, or when it's not working the way it's supposed to. That we do things to maintain it and keep it going the whole time without having to just focus on problem management. And so it's really more care than it is treatment.
Absolutely, and that's why I come regularly. It's always it's been part of my life. Chiropractic's been a part of my life actually since my mid-20s, because I was in a car accident, and I discovered that as long as I maintained regular visits, that I didn't have pain. And then I got out of that at one point and ended up having some severe pain that was debilitating, and then it took a long time to get back. So it's kind of like the people that if you know about pain meds, because you're going with the Western medical route, you want to stay ahead of the pain.
Right.
So if you've been injured and you've had a surgery or something, so you want to be taking your meds prior to the pain happening. So the same thing with chiropractic, only without the meds, and much healthier. And one of the pieces that I was in this emotional state, so I emotional ate, and I had wheat. And I think that actually the pain that I'm experiencing in my low back and my neck is actually coming from eating that wheat rather than a maladjustment, though there might be a really minor one. So
Well, certainly,
you could talk about
I mean,
that as a celiac yourself.
Absolutely. I have celiac disease. I was diagnosed at age 2. Living gluten-free today is definitely a lot easier than when I was diagnosed.
Right.
There's a lot more choices. But one of the really important things is that you have a gut-brain barrier that can become very compromised if you eat the foods that are improper for your body. And 95% of the people that have these autoimmune conditions actually have no symptoms. But these are malabsorption disorders. And, you said you ate something and noticed a really big response right away. But the truth is that the reason why we have so much undiagnosed celiac disease and gluten sensitivity has to do with the fact that people are asymptomatic. And we already said, hey, if there's nothing wrong, why would I go talk to somebody to try to get something fixed? I didn't even know there was a problem. And so there's 2 creative ways that we have for really addressing this. One of them is an expensive test through Cyrix Laboratories, and it tests over 18 different biomarkers that would indicate whether or not you had an issue with gluten, whether it's celiac disease or gluten intolerance. And the other one is simply an elimination protocol. And I've had a lot of patients get the best results with the elimination protocol because it involves them taking a direct role in controlling what they put inside their mouth. And thinking about that, well, wait a minute, these things could be connected in terms of how my body's feeling and what I just ate. And so by, crossing those 2 things together, I really appreciate what you've done and bringing that up.
Yeah,
it's a good point to
absolutely. Make. I even though I was emotional and then I did the emotional eating, it got so much worse that not just the physical reactions, but the emotion got way worse. So I was emotionally eating and I ate something that actually made me feel much worse. If I'd had a sweet potato or something like that instead, it would have supported me, and I probably would have felt more grounded and nourished. And instead, my mom had cooked something with wheat and sugar and butter and all of that yummy stuff. And within a very short period of time, I said, "Oh yeah, I'll have one of those. That's not a problem." But there are times when I can have wheat, and it's not a problem because I'm not. I don't have celiac disease like yourself.
Well, even with the celiac disease, Gwen, I've had a really amazing results with some supplements that I've been taking.
Oh, the Megaspore?
Oh,
yeah, that sounds great.
A big difference in, I'm really careful, and I can get cross-contamination from eating out in a restaurant. Could be dust blowing in the air, who knows, But I know that when I take certain things and when I really am careful about what I eat, that I have much less of a noticeable reactions.
Fantastic. So how are you loving yourself today?
Gosh, I'm loving myself a lot. Thank you. I really love that you come here and that what you're doing and showing all this stuff to people and getting people to think about all that great things. It's really nice.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Hey,
Haja, we're just getting ready to hop off here. How I'm loving myself today is recognizing that all of that shadow stuff that I dealt with over the weekend was just showing me how big my message is, because the bigger the message, the bigger the shadow, and the more you'll be challenged in your realm of expertise. So you're challenged with your health because health is your expertise.
Yep.
And I'm challenged with my relationships because relationships are my expertise.
That's great.
And so I just invite you to ask yourself today, how am I loving myself today? Find at least one thing that really helps you feel nourished and cared for. And if you want, go ahead and share it in the comments. We love getting comments. We love getting likes and loves. Give us those hearts.
Yeah.
And Facebook will show this to more people. And
I'm also really happy to connect with anybody who has any questions about their health or wants to figure out.
Where do they find you?
They find me here at Liberty Station at Your Optimal Health Chiropractor. And I have both a website and a Facebook page, so if you want to check in and follow along with the things that are going on.
Absolutely, and I'll definitely make sure that I've got you tagged in this video, so to the Facebook, because Facebook definitely seems to be the best way to have conversations and to find out about people that's going on now. So we'll go ahead and make sure that Dr. Chris is tagged, and it was great seeing you, Brian, great seeing you, Haja, and we'll talk with you tomorrow for day 142 of 365 days of asking, how do I love myself today? And take care.
Bye.
Bye.